Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about sphere. Okay, so I'm sure you all know what spheres are. Okay, so yeah, the gumballs. Okay, we have football, we have ping pong ball, all kind of balls. No, don't think of those dirty stuff, you dirty fellows. Okay, and we have the earth. We have also the sun. These are all spheres. What defines spheres is the fact that they are all round. Okay, means they have no edge at all. So yes. So these are what we call spheres. And how do we define sphere? Okay, there's two very important things to note. Take note. Firstly, all sphere has a fixed radius. Okay, means no matter whether it's here or here, or I mean or this side or this side or this side, is all the radius is always the same. Okay, like that also. Okay, so radius will always be the same wherever. It will be always be from the center to the surface. Any surface, the radius will be fixed. Okay, if there is a point where the radius is exceeded, let's say it's suddenly there's at this point the radius is more, that means, okay, that means that there is not a sphere. Okay, only when every point is the same from the center, same distance from the center, then only is called a sphere. Now diameter, I'm sure you know, from a round thing. Okay, it will be just double the radius lah. So yeah, as we mentioned earlier, there's a lot of spheres around. Okay, now two things that we're gonna learn about spheres, the important things like cone and pyramids and so on. Okay, we have the surface area and also the volume. Okay, so for right now we're gonna focus on surface area first. Okay, so I have this thing. Okay, you know what, maybe I will show you here. Okay, I will also post up this link so that you can play with yourself also. Okay, so how do we calculate how do we show the surface area of the sphere? Okay, so we start with a hemisphere. Now we are just going to focus on the curved surface area of this hemisphere. If you want a sphere, we just times two lah. Okay, but let's just take a look at the half of it first. And then we have a cylinder. Now this cylinder have the same surface radius. Okay, same radius, but the height is double 2r lah. Okay, it's basically the diameter. All right, so what I have here, what is this, is basically like strings. Okay, so if I put it here, oops, now what's going on is that I am actually putting rolling the strings around lah. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing for the cylinder. It's going to take some time. Okay, so if you notice, all right, as I go down, the it will take up less string lah, because here the radius, I mean it doesn't need as much ma, right? Okay, if you want to try this out also, you can actually take what you call that, you can actually take some string and a ball and try to roll it around as well lah. All right, okay, so we have this one. Now just now we both, this one I use one string, I mean one row, and I able to completely go over. Whereas for this side, I use one row already, but only halfway through. So I have to put another row. Okay. So please remember, okay, one row over here, and here I will need two row. Unfortunately, I can't fast forward. This is taking so slow. But in case you are not sure, okay, when it goes through one round, the distance between each string, if you're trying to go, you want to test it out on your own lah, you can do that, but make sure the distance between the each line, okay, is the same. Okay, same thing for the cylinder, otherwise very difficult, because if you put it too close or too far apart, then it defeats the purpose, because you see 1 cm is also like, let's say 1 cm apart as well. Okay, so since we compare the length by comparing the length of the two threads, okay, the threads that we use to wind the hemisphere, we have one of it. Okay, so we call this length L lah. All right, to make life easy, we don't want to give a specific number. Okay, and to wind the cylinder, we have two of it, so it's 2L. All right. Okay, so we can say that the length of the cylinder thread is actually half the length. Sorry. Oh yeah, length of cylinder thread, okay, is two times of this. Or in other words, the length of the cylinder of the hemisphere thread is half of the cylinder one. All right. Okay. So if the radius of the hemisphere, height of the cylinder is 2r, and then height of cylinder equals to 2r. Okay. So these are just telling you. Okay. So this is the working. You can see surface area of the hemisphere is actually half the surface area of the cylinder. All right. Now, how do we calculate the surface area of the cylinder? 2 pi r h. Okay, because we are only calculating the curve area only. Okay, so half times 2 cancel each other out, become 1. We get pi r h. Pi r. Now, what is the h? The h we found out earlier is 2r. So pi r 2r. So 2 pi r square. R times r is r square, right? Okay. Then therefore, since just now we are talking about hemisphere, now if you want to talk about sphere is double the hemisphere, right? So 2 times 2r. So we get 4 pi r square. Okay. So ultimately, the most important thing that you need to know, okay, even if you don't get all that just now, most important thing, surface area of the sphere is 4 pi r square. Okay, so this is the most important thing that you must remember. Okay, this one you have to memorize already one. Okay, all right. Now let's look at some examples. Okay, so if we take pi to be 3.142, now if pi is not given, all right, if they don't specify what is pi, usually this is in like paper 2 where you can use calculator. It's best to use the pi in the calculator one. Okay, if you're not sure how to use the calculator to get the pi from the calculator, you can ask your teacher. Okay, all right, so given that the pi is 3.142, so if given already, since given already, we just going to use 3.142. Surface area of sphere is 4 pi r squared, right? This is the formula. Okay, so what is 4 law? We go continue. Pi, as we mentioned here, 3.142, so we put here 3.142. Now in A, the radius given is 3 cm. So we put 3 and then we square. So we get the answer to be 113.112, correct to three significant figure, 113. Okay. Now, if B, they give diameter instead. So if they give diameter, you can find the radius easily, right? All you need to do is divide by 2. So 10 divided by 2, you get 5. And then you do the same calculation as above. Okay, very, very simple. All right, thank you, class.